What's going on, guys? Fearmaky here. Welcome back to the channel. We have a update from the developer Wooksy on what's going on with the game, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I had the opportunity to speak with him for, I think 2 hours or more, and we gathered a lot of information, so much so that I have to split the video into two separate videos, one that I'll be releasing later on in the season. But it's so much information, and I want to give a huge shout out to Wooksy and Panic Art Studios for their sincerity, their honesty, the ability to reach them. It's amazing. I'm very blessed. I'm grateful. I'm humbled that I can reach out to them, and they are open-minded. They they're honest, and they're not afraid to share what's going on. And sometimes in the gaming industry and in any business, right, being silent sometimes is the best thing, because depending on what you say, people can interpret it a different way, can come up with their own ideas and theories, and it can be bad. So props to Wooksy and to Panic Art Studios for trusting in me, first of all, and for sharing the information, for being honest, for being sincere about what's going on. And I really appreciate that, guys. And it's also a huge responsibility on me to make sure I'm responsible with the information they share, with the conversations we have, so that way we can keep that trust between each other. And I want nothing but positive things to happen for the game. So I want to make sure I put that out there. But we do have a lot of things to touch base on, and we're going to be going over it together. But before we dive into that, I'm going to put it on the screen here. I want to give a huge shout out to all the developers. Elias being the lead designer, Jussie being the lead programmer, Kafini also the lead programmer, Mika, the amazing artist that he is. Everything that you guys see on the screen, all the maps, all the sprites, all your characters, the whole nine, Mika does all of that. So Mika, you don't get enough credit, man. I appreciate all the work that you do. It's amazing. The game is great, and obviously the aesthetics and the artwork, is all thanks to you guys together as a team, but mainly you as being the primary artist. So I appreciate that. Rexy, also, always been around in the community, always supporting, huge game designer and support. Wooksy, man, oh man. I mean, if you want to talk to the devs, Wooksy is the man to go to. He's one of the game designers, works on balancing all the classes and skills and talents, listens to the community, provides all the feedback, back to his team. And while trying to keep a balance between everything, between communication and balance in the game, you're doing a phenomenal job, Wooksy. Keep it up, man. Mr. Andruska, the music producer. Believe it or not, this season around, if you guys have noticed, I have been running with the music on HeroSiege. I never run with any music on in any game, but HeroSiege definitely has some good music. So Andrasta, big props to you on the music. Really great. Otto, man, one of our friends, Marky, specifically the map that's on the screen right now, mentioned whoever created this map here has 100 IQ. And Otto, big props to you, man, on creating the maps, the map designs. This time around, the wormholes, the way you changed them around, compared to the old open maps, definitely a breath of fresh air. It definitely brings uniqueness to the game, and I look forward to seeing, additional map designs and things that you have to share with us. So thank you for your work. Safarina, thank you very much for your social media work. I know you're, pushing the game out on social media, on Instagram, all the social media networks. We appreciate your work. Keep it up. And the man of the hour, Handsome Tom. What a name handle, huh? Of everything. And that picture, though, man. Anyways, Handsome Tom, welcome to the team, man. He's the server engineer. He's the one that's going to be bringing the game into the future, hopefully with no issues. a lot, and obviously you have a lot to tackle, a lot on your hands, a lot to pick up and learn over the last 8 years. So man, you know, big props to you for taking on this task, and thank you, you know, for being part of the team, for being part of a great game. And we have nothing but, you know, support and love for you, and we hope that, you know, you take your time, do the right thing, and we're over here patiently waiting, you know, for what's to come. And we have faith that Panic Art Studios, together with you, is definitely going to get over this hurdle and what's going on with the game, with the servers, because the game is going fine. The game is going great. But anyways, a big shout out to everybody there at Panic Art Studios for your guys' amazing work. So I want to make sure I put that to light. Now to get into it, since the last video we made, which was 2 days ago, actually, from me recording this video now, we had a huge announcement. So when we created the video, if I'm speaking to Elias, Handsome Tom was supposed to come on board March 15th. The very next day, okay, that changed altogether. Elias came on Discord, on the announcements on Discord, and said our new employee, Handsome Tom, the systems admin and server admin, will be taking over our server systems and looking into the issue we are dealing with. Just a heads up, we are working on the issue. That is amazing. So we went from March 15th all of a sudden to March 8th. The very next day, the system and server engineer is immediately on the team at the office working. So I'm very happy to see that. In addition to that, the very first day in the morning, Monday morning, you know, when the weekend gets over, there is a massive patch note from Rexy, and the game is updated as well with, you know, mercenaries, with general fixes. I'm not going to go over all of them so the video doesn't take too long, but you guys can see it here on the screen. You can see it on Discord, with market fixes. You know, currency is now removed instantly when buying an item. I would still not use the market. I'd be careful with that. And on the servers, obviously, with Handsome Tom coming on board, it's his first day on the job. And then also some balances with Pyromancer. 3rd degree burns applies pyrokinetic disorder damage not properly. The Necromancer summon frenzy doesn't stop vengeful spirit from attacking anymore. This is huge. It's a nice update to that, to the Necromancer. Nomad Wind Slash now applies Windbreak, which scales based on skill points. White Mage slightly reduced the damage of the curse. It was getting out of hand. I agree with that. Viking Weapon Master now increases damage if you have blocked recently. Might be changed to when you have a shield equipped. The talent double dips now hard in some builds. Marauder Juggernaut set bonus now increases damage by 50% if the target is isolated. Tooltip will be fixed in the next patch. And the Demon Slayer, Demon's Callings, now properly applies armor break. Fixed it, granting extra stamina. So this goes to show the dedication that the devs are putting into the game, and that they are working, you know, on the game even through the weekend. And then as soon as Monday hits, everybody's back at the office. The game gets patched. The new engineers on board. So I'm happy to see that. So let's get into the questions, okay, which I'll put up on the screen for you guys to see. So with the engineer being at the office, I have questions. Is the engineer working full-time at the office in person? And Wooksy's response, as you can see, it's yes, which is huge. Next set of question that I have here for you guys is, I know I start off with finally because I had to clip some of the conversations, but how soon do you believe the engineer can get the service fixed? Or how soon can we expect a patch? Possibly end of the week? You know, I'm being really hopeful here. And then Wooksy responded, our engineer is currently learning our server codes and structure with the help with our previous engineer, which will take a few days, and he will do diagnose and solve the problem. Now, to explain the server issues to be a little bit more clear for the community, the server is having massive data leaks that is causing their CPU and RAM to run at 100% capacity, which is causing the bottleneck and the lag. After he finishes solving that, along with the help of the wizards, when he says wizards, he means Jussie and Kafini, okay, the lead programmers. We are going to be creating a system that will prevent this type of situation from ever happening again. We are going to be incorporating a system to have a larger intake rather than it being isolated on the server, which will prevent issues. For example, if one server goes down, we will have an intake for other available servers to allow the player base to continue to use. This gives our engineer time to work on any server issues and maintain them. This is massive. So let's get on to another question I had for Worksheet. Well, multiple questions. With the server engineer, what can we expect from his end with the obvious server login issues, etc.? Things like, what things can we expect? You know, server login issues, desync issues, trading, auction house issues, UI and Steam elements more streamlined. Are those things related to server engineer, or please add anything you think that will, that he will bring long term? And Worksheet responded, he is essentially the person to help us bond the game to the servers in a way that the servers can process. So he takes an active role in every aspect of the game, and not to get too deep about some things, but mainly he will be focusing on saves. In the long term, he will continue to keep the servers on current technology and ensure the translation between the game and the server. He will also be in charge of maintaining players' ability to log in, connection problems, general server maintenance in general. When it comes to desync, trading, and auction house functions, that is all based on the wizards and us, meaning Jussie and Kafini and the rest of the developers, game designers, and programmers. So I think that's a huge response. So he is a very key team member to have, since he is going to help us expand the game as it moves into the future. That is awesome. Now to get into another question that I had here for him. Would Elias and you guys ever consider moving HeroSiege to Unreal Engine or Unity? And his response is, not for now. We would have to entirely rebuild the game, and what we do is extremely unique from other games, because instead of a band-aid fixing it with keeping we're keeping it server side. We are actually solving and fixing every issue. Game Maker actually works really well with our projects, so we don't really see a swap until the game is a lot bigger and we have an entire team rebuilding the game to Unity. Then we will be transferring over to that. But Game Maker has actually been very active in keeping their engine updated and working on complex issues for developers. I said that's great to hear. And they're extremely good to work with on resolving problems. So they're not saying they're 100% opposed to this. I hope they do move on to another game engine in the future when the game becomes bigger. But right now, I understand where they're coming from. They're comfortable working with the tools they have. And they're getting a lot of support from Game Maker. And it's a huge task to take on, right? To rebuild the game onto a new game engine, and to move on to that, and then train your staff and everybody again to work on that new engine. It takes a lot, and the company should definitely, work out its kinks and polish the game, get everything set before they take on that task. I would absolutely love to see HeroSiege on Unreal Engine, or Unity with, more updated polished graphics, etc., and all that. Not to say that it doesn't look great now, as it is, it does, but it'd be good to see the game evolve. But anyways, that was that question. My response was perfect. I'll make a video and release it by the end of the week, as you guys are seeing it now. I have videos scheduled for to release for the next 4 weeks every day for HeroSiege, which is true. I have videos on schedule now. It took me about 8 hours yesterday to go through all of the videos and put them on a schedule, releasing at midnight every day, some videos at 10 a.m., some videos at noon, couple them with other content I'm creating for, other stuff that I do outside of HeroSiege. But I said, thank you so much for trusting me and sharing this information with you. As always, you can trust me to always represent you guys in a positive light. And I will do that. You guys may catch me on stream or wherever, you know, sharing the frustration like you guys do. This game sucks. Oh, what the fuck, Wooksy? Or what's going on, man? Goddamn Elias playing freaking League of Legends. Those are all honest frustrations, and it's obviously fun. Obviously, guys, I love HeroSiege. All right, I have over 70 videos for HeroSiege. I would not think the game is really shit or that the devs suck or anything along those lines. Right after I make over, you know, by the time I'm done with this video, it'll be nearing over 100 videos for the game. I absolutely love the game. I'm really grateful for the community, for the devs. And it's okay to share frustration. It's okay to blur out random stuff. And you'll catch me on streams later on in a couple of weeks, me, you know, complaining about Wooksy or what's going on with Wooksy, you know, with the balance and all that. But that's all in fun. That's all in joke. You know, that's all in passion. I'm so passionate about the game, and it's just like you guys are, that, you know, we get frustrated when things don't work the way they're supposed to, or when things don't go the way we want them to go. You know, and we just share our frustration and our passion for the game. That's all that is. It's just passion. It's not hate. So do not get that confused, okay? But anyways, I will always in the videos for sure that I create on YouTube, you know, represent the game and the devs in a you know, positive light, because I believe in the game. I believe in them, and the game is great. So don't get confused one thing I say live on stream to the content that I'm creating. You know, I'm an honest person, and I'm human just like you guys. So anyways, you know, Wooksy responded with no problem. Thanks for helping out the community. You know, I remember when I used to do YouTube videos, it really feels great to help others out, which is an amazing quality for any person to have, with the ability to help other people out. And it takes a lot of time and energy out of your personal and, you know, selfish gains and selfish ways to go out and take the time to help others out. You know, it takes a lot of energy and time, guys, believe it or not. Even putting this video together, you know, and to clip all this stuff and dissect it all into, you know, condense it all into, you know, some format for you guys to understand. It takes a lot of time and energy, so I hope you guys do appreciate that. And I know you do. I know you do. So anyways, I responded. You know, I watched your videos and they inspired me along with others. Others, I mean, like Vulcan, you know, all the other YouTubers for sure, Splattercat Gaming. You know, I love watching those guys' content. They're amazing content creators. Lazy Peon. You know, anyways, but thanks for your work. For additional information, if you want to share, thanks for your work. So is there any additional information you want to share? And then I went on to ask, season theme, is it working as intended? Are you happy with it? Will it be updated to spawn more and give more fragment rewards so players can enjoy it more often? And you know, also asked them, with the new seasonal theme, players want the old ones to still be relevant. Personally, myself, I do, and not to be too much also of a grind. When I'm referring to Chaos Towers, have you considered scaling down the amount of times you need to run the Chaos Towers and floors? My reasoning for this, is it's old content from last season. And yes, some of the best in slot items in the game comes from that content. But with additional content being introduced into the game, you want people to be able to participate in everything. And obviously you have to find a fine line between balance and between Diablo 3, giving you everything within the first day of the season, and then the game's over, right? I don't want that either. I want the game to be rewarding each time you come and play it, and that it lasts throughout the entire season. You know, and maybe, and what I had in mind is reducing the amount of floors you need to clear the tower. Instead of 10 floors, making it 5, so that way you can see the boss more often and you can get to grind it out more often. I don't know if that's the correct balance or not, you know, but that's my thought process with that. Because we're going to be doing, you know, the new wormhole layouts that we like. We're going to be doing the void portals, those bosses, all the new dungeons. And when are we going to find time to actually run all 10 floors of the Chaos Tower and also, you know, take advantage of that? It's amazing that the game is getting bigger and there's a lot more content to, you know, take in. But I think at one point you have to think about, you know, how much time do you have in a day or throughout the 3 months that you're actually going to be doing this other content. But that's just something to think about. I also said the spreadsheet you guys have with set items can you add a season 12 next to the sets or the new tab, or put it in a new tab? It's hard for me even to tell which new or old when it comes to set pieces. And that's true. As I'm putting builds together and I'm testing out, I'm going through the spreadsheet and looking at the set pieces, and I see all the 17 new sets. And the game is massive, guys. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I watch a lot of content creators, and you know, not to down on their work, they do amazing work, and it's a lot of time. But to cover 17 classes, 34 talent trees, okay, and 17, well, now 34 set, you know, pieces, you know, for each class, it's a lot. You know, for me to remember each set piece, what each class wears and what each bonuses does, I have to go back to my old videos and my old notes to try to remember that. So having the spreadsheet updated where, hey, this is season 12 new sets for each class, gives it an immediate, this is the update, this is the change, and it helps me to create content. I'm sure it will help the new player base to understand this is the old, you know, the previous set that's been in the game, and this is the new set for this season. Let me try it out, let me test it out, and then in turn it will give the devs more data and feedback to also allow us to test it out and balance it, right, to see what's working. Because you could have hundreds of players playing the old set, right, and not knowing that there's a new set or what the new set does. And if they know that information more so, and they're playing the new set, and you see now one class doing 1,000 wormholes, you say, wait a second, we got to balance that, we got to fix that. They're using the new set, we got to, you know, tone things down a bit. Anyways, just being more transparent, or having more clarity on the set pieces on the spreadsheet, I think would definitely help. And thank you for the work there. I mean, Hametsu, you know, thank you guys, you know, for putting in the immense amount of work, and other guys I see on the spreadsheet as well. I'm not, you know, looking at your names right now off the top of my head, but I definitely appreciate your guys' work. You know, Wooksy, Senfo, who else is on there? Hametsu, obviously, with the item lists, and Smiley Fail with the relics. You know, so thank you guys for that. Those are the guys I see, you know, name on there. But anyways, back to the fourth item I asked. Do you guys own the wiki? Who manages it? And will it ever be updated? I personally don't mind the spreadsheet. The players get confused with outdated info on the wiki. And Wooksy responded to this about all these questions that I had. And this is what he said, especially when it comes to the seasonal theme. To be completely honest, you can put this in any video, he doesn't mind. But I am unhappy with the mechanic currently. I feel they need to be a lot tougher, and shot drops need to be higher, which we will patch fairly soon, and it will be much more enjoyable. I 100% agree with Wooksy, and I have messaged him multiple times. I'm sure you guys have. I personally believe that the void portals should spawn double the amount of mobs. It should keep spawning mobs when they open, and it should spawn like a boss or two at the end that is really difficult. You know, obviously this will scale in difficulty. If you're doing it on normal, it'll be easier. Nightmare is easier. Hell is obviously harder, and Inferno is harder, and then Inferno 3 is harder. Inferno 5 is way harder. This is going to be exciting for when you come across a void portal. You're like, wow, we need to do this. And you know, you want to be able to acquire 100 fragments, you know, relatively soon. Obviously we want to find the balance so it's not like D3, but you want to be able to enjoy it. You don't want to play a whole week and not be able to enjoy it, you know, or see the seasonal content. I myself, you know, one of my buddies, you know, we had him try out the seasonal theme void portals, and as expected, the server crashed. He got kicked from the game, lost all his 100 fragments. So I do not recommend anybody doing the void portals right now until the server is fixed. Do not lose your currency. Do not lose your fragments, guys. Do not try it. I have not gone into the battlefield myself, and I will not go into the battlefield until I know for sure the servers are fixed and they're working, because I don't want to waste my fragments. I don't want to waste my time. So I do agree with Wooksy that the void portals need to be updated, and they will be updated, And I think soon, by the time you guys see this video, it might be live already. We will see from speaking with him. Is that we consider the idea of shrinking old content, but at the end of the day, this is related to the Chaos Towers and the Chaos Shrines in the Shadow Realms. We consider the idea of shrinking old content, but at the end of the day, we want those to still be hard content because that makes those items worth even more. I am glad we are able to increase the Chaos Tower spawn rates though. I'm happy for that as well, and I agree with him. You got to find the balance between those things. And guys, it's only been 1 week of the season. You know, there's a lot more seasonal play to go through. So you got to play, you got to grind it out, man. And he goes, I'm not sure which spreadsheet you're referring to about the set items, but we are working on the new ones with the runes document. I sent him the spreadsheet later. He says, yes, that's the one I'm talking about, and I understand what you're referring to now. And he says, we are working on it, the Runeword document, into a full-fledged wiki until we find a good host in the wiki we feel would be in the best interest of the community. When we do this, we will make the document to where it can show up on Google web searches. So that is awesome. And if you guys do visit the spreadsheet, and I'll have a link of it in the descriptions below, which is the Runeword spreadsheet. They have all of the rune words there. They have all of the item lists in the game there. I wish on the item list, Hametsu and Wuxi, as an idea, you guys already actually have the tab in there. So obviously you do have plans for, you know, filling that data and that information. But yes, I would definitely have the stats in the data there for what each helm and what item does. So that way we can mouse over to click it and see. It'd be awesome. So, you know, please do that. That'd be amazing. Same thing with the weapons, obviously. And then the set pieces is amazing how you guys have the updates on there as well. And then I see you guys also have the relics and descriptions. So that's pretty cool to see that you guys are already doing that. All right. And then last but not least, guys, I had to ask one last question. I find so far the season is going great with balance. I have not tested all the classes yet. I did test all the classes with the old meta build in the old meta sets, some of the new sets as well. And I provided, you know, Wuxi feedback to quick summarize. 9 out of the 17 classes were in a good place. The other classes needed to be rebalanced and worked. And Wuxi did get to that, and he is balancing that out, guys. But I did not test all the new sets, okay? But the game is being balanced, and it, you know, was balanced before it was released. And I'm going to be testing out all the classes and providing guides for you guys as we go through the season, and we'll see how things go. And hopefully the bigger the game gets, we can have more beta testers to provide more info, you know, to reach back to the devs. And if you guys have any builds out there for any class that's strong, or if you're, like I said, if you're rank 1 or rank 10 in your class and you want to share some builds with me that works, send me a picture of your build, your talents, your hero level, your mercenary gear, and send me a picture of your action bar, the skills that you're using, and how much damage you're pulling with that build. And I'll gladly create a guide or update our own internal spreadsheet. So when I create guides, like, we can help the community out and we can balance out the game. Okay. And please, you know, as a, you know, note for you guys, if you are a guy that has a build that's doing billions of damage, 100 billion, you know, whatever, some crazy build, please do not exploit, please do not abuse it. You're only going to get your name removed from the leaderboard. You're only going to get yourself removed from anything that's relevant. So please don't do that. You know, don't make your time in the game in vain. You know, so just help yourself out, help the community. Say, hey, I came across something that's doing way too much damage, I think above than what I expected. You know, please fix it. If you do that, that way, you know, you can still be in the leaderboards, everything is fine. But don't, you know, abuse, guys, unintentional balance in the game. So I asked him that, and are you comfortable with the balance, or can we expect some major changes? And he responded a lot more than what I have clipped here, because the other stuff I believe should be remain private, you know, for another video in the future. But he said there will be a massive change come next season. more than likely a full weapon rework, full attack speed rework, full rebalance on every class. So we will have our hands full with a very daunting project to finish in 2 to 3 months. So they're going to be working on this and trying to do this, obviously, the moment they fix everything now with this season and get everything squared up. I'm assuming in a couple of weeks, they're going to be diving into that and working on the new content and balancing everything and reworking everything for season 13, which I believe might be the biggest season and content patch in the game in the history of HeroSiege. Because based on what Elias said, with the expansion and Jotun and the new axe and all the new systems they're introducing into the game, don't forget there will be a new seasonal theme as well. It's going to be amazing. Obviously there's other stuff there that I can't share with you guys, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Nothing but positive vibes, nothing but good vibes to look for in the game, and a lot of content to come in the future. And guys, let me know if the content helps you guys, if you guys like this type of content, if you guys like hearing the information on me speaking with the devs and hearing inside information on what they have to say. If this is a good source of content for you guys. I'm trying to balance out between creating meta guides, beginner guides that people have asked me, when are you going to be creating the guides for season 12, the meta guides? I will be doing them later on in the season, guys. I made a promise to the community last season because I did nothing but meta guides, the top end. Okay? But you guys have to understand, and I came to that realization myself, that a lot of players that play the game are casual gamers and they just want to have fun. They want to know how to begin the game. They don't want to know, hey, you need to put in 3 months and have 1 billion rubies to get this build. That doesn't help them. Okay? But those builds weren't created with that in mind either. They were created for you to work towards that, for you to work towards an end goal. And I'll be creating those builds as well. But I do believe that beginner guides are extremely helpful to the community, and they've been received really well. And I'm going to do that for the community and for new players to come into the game. Okay? But doing the meta guides early on, I think was good as well, because it gave myself some validity, right, and earned my spot, I think, within the community in the game, and including with the devs, to be knowledgeable about the game, to be able to test builds, break them. I want to give a huge shout out again to Hametsu for providing his, local editor tool to allow us to test things out and provide feedback to the devs, and also create builds for you guys, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of work, guys. I mean, that took 15 hours a day per class to do that, to really test it down. This time around it should be way easier and faster now that we have more in-depth information on how the game works, but it does take a lot of toll on you. But please let me know in the comments below if this type of content helps you guys. I do want to start a series as well. Also give me your responses below if you guys would like to see this. I'm thinking of doing a weekly capture of the game summary on how the game is doing, like week 1, leaderboards. And we go through each class, all 17 classes, and see how they're doing on the leaderboards. See how they're pairing up on wormholes, on hero levels, and just talk to you guys about that as we go through class by class on the leaderboards. Obviously it's difficult to do that now because we keep disconnecting, the leaderboards don't load up all the way through and it takes forever. So it's difficult for me to do that. I wanted to do that actually today when when it's the first full week of the season that's been out, but it takes so long to click on the leaderboards that I said, just let me work on another video for now. Hopefully they fix the server soon and I can start that. But let me know if that's something you guys would like to see, because it's something where I was talking to my friends about and taking them. It's something I want to see. I want to see how each class is doing each week, how strong they are, and how they're pairing up against each other. And that's also going to help us, keep the game balanced as well, and keep an eye out on the community and which class is good and which class is doing better than others, etc. All the classes are amazing. As I said, do not sell yourself short. Do not go after the meta classes, only the meta builds, and only play. I have multiple people ask me, what's the OP class this season? I'm not gonna tell you guys that. There is no, because we're not going for, create a one OP class for the game each season, Woodsy, or devs. The devs don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that kills all the other 16 classes. Right? So even if I do know a OP class, which I'm telling you right now, there isn't any, not that I'm aware of. Okay, and if there was, I'm going to report it, and there will be balanced outs. And if you find it, like I said, report it yourself. Don't sell yourself short and waste your time saying I found an OP class, I'm going to go to Wormhole 1000 and crush everybody, because you're just going to waste your time and get removed, man. Don't do that. But there is no OP classes. And even if there was, like I've always said in all my videos, I will not be sharing that with you guys. I don't think that's good content. It's not good content. That is not good for the game, okay, at all. That actually kills games. It kills leaderboard. It kills the fun. It kills the competition. So you guys need to understand that. But I'm not mad at you guys for asking that. You can keep asking me questions. I don't have an issue with it. But I just want you guys to let you know where I'm coming from. From a professional standpoint, I'm not going to be sharing what class is overpowered and what's not. And honestly, with my sincerest opinion, I do not know what class is overpowered right now, and I will get to test them. And yes, I have found overpowered classes before, multiple overpowered broken builds before, and I have shared them with Wooksy, and we have fixed them. Actually, I take that back. We did stumble upon a overpowered class, overpowered build, and like I said, I stumbled upon it. We stumbled upon it. That actually is one of our friends who just picked up the game 4 days ago, has never touched HeroSiege, and obviously playing with us, we helped them along the way with information. We put the build together, we put the set pieces together, and all of a sudden the build is doing crazy AoE, clear. And we reported that to Wooksy, and that's going to be fixed and patched this week. By the time you see this video, it most likely already have been fixed already. But play what you guys like, play what you guys enjoy. Please leave your comments below. Let me know if this helps you, if you guys like this. I will try to make the videos shorter in the future, but there's so much information and so much to share with you guys that I have to do it justice and do it correctly. All right, but you guys, thank you very much. Please don't forget to comment, like, please hit that subscribe button. Over 80% of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribers. Please hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. You guys take care of yourselves. Roll deep, stay grinding. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Woo!